Good Wednesday morning, my dear church family. I hope that this finds you well. I hope you're enjoying the spring weather. I hope you'll join us tonight for Bible study, one way or another. But of course, more than anything else, I hope you're living your very best life in Jesus Christ. Well, it's time for Easter pictures. Now, I need to explain something to you, and that is that every spring since Landry was born, Nancy has resurrected an old family tradition of having Easter pictures taken. This is something we did when Kevin Lee was young as well, and it harkens back to my mother, who felt the need to do the same thing when my brothers and I were growing up. We didn't really have school pictures, or when we did, they weren't particularly good. So back then pictures were a big deal, and they were very expensive. My mother would go all out at Easter, using this time as an excuse to buy us new clothes for Easter and make us an appointment at Olin Mills Studio, which I still remember. From these seemingly interminable sessions, I have some of the best, clearest memories of my youth, thankfully preserved in black and white and later in faded color. I admit I occasionally just sit and allow them to take me back to what I remember as a much simpler time of just love and family. When I was small, I remember taking these pictures was a complete pain. I mean, after all, does any kid want to just sit still and smile on cue? And you can imagine what the photographer had to deal with having the four Miller boys in the same room. Even when Kevin Lee was small, I saw these kind of things as, at best, a massive inconvenience. However, my mother and my dear wife understood something then and now that I have only really begun to appreciate. And that is the importance of preserving cherished memories and important events in our admittedly short lives. Because once that time is past, it can never truly be recaptured. Photos can take us back, however briefly, to a moment that reminds us of God's real blessings in our lives. And I can't help but smile in that Nancy does the same thing with Landry that she did when our son was small, and that my mother did with us. She will search for weeks to buy his Easter clothes and make sure that we have scheduled time for a memory. And we'll sit there and coax him to smile and sit still, as moms and grandmas and nanas have done for generations. You know, today I fear that the easy exposure to a camera in every phone and digital storage has dulled our sense of preserving precious memories. I think we take them for granted. I mean, back then, photos were expensive and rare, whereas now most folks seem to take so many, they seldom, if ever, have time to look at them and count their blessings. We have buried the special in the mundane. I think that's a human trait. And I think that God knows that we tend to do this. That's why he goes to great lengths to remind us of the importance of remembering things. I mean, having many verses by David and Job, Isaiah, James, Samuel, and others remind us to look around us and find the things in the grass and the trees and the wind and the skies and see in how in them our truly short lives are just so easily passed. It was for this reason that Jesus had the Last Supper and asked his followers to do this in remembrance of me. He knew we needed a constant reminder of how great his sacrifice for us was and is, and what he accomplished with his death. We remember his cross as a moment in which true love defeated hate and death, once and for all. It's in this Easter picture, planned long before his birth, that Christ wanted us to look at and see his love for us. When I look at my Easter photos, so lovingly taken and preserved, I can relive those moments of love in my life and be reminded of the things I cherish most, the blessings he's given me. And it is in Easter and the cross, in the image of a cross and the stone rolled away, that I found the most comforting Easter picture of all. The picture not of the crucifixion, but as a risen Savior. I hope you have a wonderful day today. As I said, I hope to see you in Bible study tonight. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will talk to you on Friday, good Lord willing. If you need me, of course, don't hesitate to call. I love you all. Bye-bye.